Hello, Kim Knight here, the Kiwi Health Detective, and I'd like to share a little bit about how I work. So what does a detective do? A detective solves mysteries. They find clues, they follow those clues, and then they finally resolve the mystery. And that's what I do. I help people to resolve the mystery of why they have symptoms. So most of the people that I'm working with, they've often been to many different therapists. They might have seen an acupuncturist, osteopath, naturopath, doctor, even specialists. But still there are missing pieces and they still don't understand why they have their symptoms. And this is why they're unable to get better. Because if you imagine your car breaks down, if you take your car to the mechanic and they don't know what's causing the problem, they can't fix it. If they don't find that pipe that's burst or the crack in the radiator, they simply cannot fix it. So this is the first step. We must understand what is causing the problem. And that is what I do in my very first 90-minute Kiwi Health Detective breakthrough session. So how do I come to be able to do this? Well, it's been a very long journey. I was diagnosed with clinical depression when I was 28. And I thought I was coming through that. I was in hospital, I came out, I started getting my life back on track. But a few years later, I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. I also had a host of many other health conditions and health complaints and symptoms, such as ongoing chronic back pain, UTIs, allergies, asthma, and a host of other symptoms. But the big one was the chronic fatigue syndrome, because I literally had to stop work. And I virtually did not work again for 10 years. Now, in that time period, I searched, I tried nearly 200 therapies. I thought I was going to have to give everything up and really not come through. I sold my house, I sold my car. I set off around the world, literally, to find help. And eventually, I found the answers. And then I started to train in various cutting-edge therapies to further improve my health and reverse the symptoms. And I trained so much, I ended up being professionally qualified in some of these therapies, not because I wanted to be a therapist, but because I wanted to heal myself. And by the time I came through this was a 10-year period, I then felt ready to start working, and I started helping other people with their health conditions. And I started specializing in things like chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel, depression, anxiety, stress, insomnia, and really any chronic pain or chronic fatigue condition. And since then, I've branched out into other conditions as well, because what we find is whatever the manifesting symptoms are, they are just an end result. They are the body's way of saying, I'm not happy. In fact, disease is a state of dis-ease. So what we do in the very first Kiwi Health Detective breakthrough session is we get to the real root cause of the problem, so that by the end of that session, you have a very clear idea, finally, of all these pieces of the puzzle. And the way I like to explain it is that if you imagine when you come to me, you may only have 2 pieces or 3 pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. So if you only have 2 or 3 pieces of, say, a 100-piece jigsaw puzzle, you're not really going to see the picture of what that puzzle is. But once, say, 80 pieces of that puzzle have been put together, then you're really going to have a fairly clear picture of that jigsaw puzzle. And there may still be missing pieces because we may not get everything in that first session. Those bits come to light afterwards. But at least you have 80% of the picture, and sometimes maybe 95%. So that's what we do, and it's a very essential first step. So if you're interested in learning more, please fill out my application form, and I look forward to speaking with you.